You, my God and Lord, are my shield. On you I rely. On you I will build. Never leave me, so that I may remain pious, your servant, at all moments, dispelling the tyranny that wounds my heart. These powerful words are the chorus of the Dutch national anthem, and the recognition of states as sovereign fuels the agreement for diplomatic relations, solidifying the ties between countries for mutual growth, development, and cooperation. And Ghana's bilateral relations with Netherlands continues to grow stronger and stronger, creating investment opportunities to support our economic growth and the creation of opportunities for our youth as well. Joining me on the Youth Time Show today is a staunch diplomat with years of experience in international relations. He has also worked at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Netherlands. He has served as the ambassador to Uganda, Yemen, Dar es Salaam, just to mention a few. Joining me on the show today is His Excellency Ambassador Mr. Jeroen Verhuel, the Netherlands ambassador to Ghana. On the show today, we will delve into the rich bilateral relations that has existed between Netherlands and Ghana, SDGs, development assistance initiatives, which also includes the embassy's aid to trade policy to help reach the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda and the Young Entrepreneurship Program. My name is Vanessa Zik Ade Ado, and this is the Youth Time Show on Grace Live TV. Don't go anywhere, the show commences shortly. So welcome officially to today's program. And as I said in the beginning, today we will find out every information that entails between the Kingdom of Netherlands and Ghana right here on the Youth Time Show. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Zeke. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is a greatest pleasure to have you as well. And Akwaba.
Nemase.
Right. So before we delve into the whole conversation, having read your bio everywhere, we know you have served as an ambassador to Uganda, to Dar es Salaam, Yemen, and all the other places. In brief, who is His Excellency Ambassador, Mr. Jeroen Verhuel?
Well, before I became an ambassador, I was a civil servant at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, serving in the headquarters in The Hague, but also in several embassies. And before that, I was a student. So I had the pleasure of studying public administration. And before that, I was a young kid, growing up in Vlissingen, a place near the sea. So for me, it's a particular pleasure to be again in a place that is near the sea, because the sea is very special to me.
Great. As you possess decades of experience in bilateral relations and having posted to other African states, how has the experience in Ghana been so far? Any highlights you would like to share with us?
Well, absolutely. You began by saying Akwaba, and I think that is a hallmark expression with everybody I've met so far.
Right.
So Ghanaians are very friendly and welcoming, and they do their utmost to make you feel at home. So it's really a pleasure to be here and to be welcomed so friendly by Ghanaians.
That is great. Thank you for the warm appreciation. And so delving into the rich bilateral relations that has existed between Netherlands and Ghana over the years, how has the whole cooperation been, and what does the future of these bilateral relations hold for both countries?
Well, I think first of all, we need to recognize that bilateral relations go back a long time. So they precede even the independence of Ghana more than 60 years ago.
Right.
They go back to, I think, 320 years ago, when one of my predecessors presented his credentials to the king in Kumasi, the king of the Ashanti, and started, in fact, bilateral relations between Ghana and the Netherlands, mainly focusing on trade at the time, but growing broader and broader since then.
So with your rich experience in cooperation and also the formulation of policies for developing countries, what is the embassy's aid to trade policy which will help reach the Ghana Beyond Aid agenda? We want you to probe on that.
Well, I think it's very good that you make a reference to Ghana's aspiration to become an economy, to become a country beyond aid. Because aid is useful to help a country kickstart its development. But once a country is able to develop on its own, with its own resources, then it's much richer because you are guided and supported by the pillars in your own society and in your own economy. So that is what we are looking for, to help Ghana achieve that objective. So your own resources are one part of the story, but you need to develop those resources further by interaction with other countries, whether it is neighboring countries, whether it is the African continent, whether it's Europe, Asia, or the Americas. You need to interact with those other countries in order to trade or to learn and innovate and exchange. That is extremely important, that open attitude and that open economy is there so that you can develop with each other. Not only your own economy, but you develop also the economies of others around you.
Great. And one thing that we also want you to highlight is, which also falls in line with achieving Ghana Beyond Aid agenda, is by boosting our agri-business sector. And upon your arrival, you will attest to the fact that the agri-produce in Ghana forms more than half of our GDP. That means the agri-business is very dear to our heart. What is your policy in order to help boost our agri-business sector?
Well, first of all, agriculture and agribusiness is very important for the economy. If you look at the Netherlands economy, agricultural export of agricultural goods and services is an extremely important component of our economy. The annual figure of our exports is about 100 billion euros, and that's only the agricultural exports. So this is really a money-making machine for our economy. And I think that is something that Ghana could benefit from, because we have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of expertise that can help. So we are doing that in different subsectors, because agriculture is a broad concept. There are different subsectors. So if you look, for example, at horticulture as one of the subsectors, I think there is a lot of room for Ghana to expand its production of vegetables and fruits. Because if I go to the supermarket, I still see a lot of imported vegetables that could have been produced in Ghana. So why? Of course, it's trading for the Netherlands, so we benefit from it. But why would you benefit vegetables from the Netherlands if you can grow them here? So that is something we can help with. We have been helping with, and we will continue to help with.
Thank you.
So that's an example, a subsector, horticulture. Another subsector is cocoa, which is extremely important for the Ghanaian economy. But it's also extremely important for the Dutch economy, because a lot of the cocoa which is exported from Ghana goes to Amsterdam. And from Amsterdam, it goes to the factories which are in Zaandam, just beyond Amsterdam, to be made into chocolate products. So it's a very important resource for us, and very important to maintain those trading relations between Ghana and the Netherlands.
And are there extension officers? Are there any extension officers who are assisting our local farmers from your?
Yes, your Ministry of Agriculture, of course, has an extension service that we have supported in the past. But with the moving from the aid to trade agenda, we are focusing less on supporting extension workers. We're focusing more on supporting the companies that buy the products or sell products that improve productivity of the farmers.
Great. And that is great. And coming to using the youth as focus, you will also attest to the fact that one way to give the youth the chance to take on leadership positions is by giving them the entrepreneurial skills that will help equip them. And we see your Young Entrepreneurship Program. Can you throw more light on that and its accessibility and its feasibility for the Ghanaian youth?
Yeah, it's a very important point that you're raising, because the saying is youth is the future of a nation, which is completely true.
Sure.
But youth is a very big group in a lot of African countries. I heard yesterday that the median age in Ghana is just 19 and a half, so that means that half the population is below the age of 20. So it's a huge group, and it's important to provide good education, but also good employment opportunities to the youth. And the most important prerequisite for employment is private sector development. Private companies are the engine of growth, and they will provide you and youth with the employment opportunities. So promoting a vibrant private sector is one essential ingredient of this policy. Another is promoting youth entrepreneurship, as you indicated. Because not every person is an entrepreneur. You cannot put somebody in a company then expect him or her to be a business person. That is a skill that you have or can develop. So one of the programs that we are supporting is what we call the Orange Corners. So look at the color of our ties. It's Orange Corners. Orange is the color of the Dutch. So these Orange Corners provide opportunities for young businessmen and women. It's not only that they can learn from each other, but they can also learn from experienced trainers that we have put at the disposal of the program. And more importantly, we have private sector partners that work with these Orange Corners and provide opportunities for on-the-job training and giving lessons learned from practice to these young entrepreneurs, and also provide opportunities for networking. So it's a very interesting program that we have developed here in Accra, and which we are now also rolling out to other places in Ghana. So it's also going to be started in Ho and in Kumasi and Takoradi and in Tamale. So we are trying to not only keep this as a capital-based, but to also broaden it to the rest of the country.
Great. So are there means of assessing its feasibility after these young people have undergone training? And are there assistive measures to also help them kickstart their businesses, as you mentioned, the private sectors?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's part of this is the training. The other part is networking. And the third part is access to finance. So we partner with Fidelity Bank, and they provide startup capital for the financing of the business plan that they are making during this training. So it's a complete package. The selection is quite rigorous, and we try to also promote female entrepreneurs to participate in this group, because they face more obstacles than male entrepreneurs. So we try to promote them participating in the program. And we've done, I think, 4 cohorts of entrepreneurs so far, and we'll continue to promote the program whilst expanding beyond Accra.
So one thing which is also dear to the hearts of Ghanaian youth is quality education. And touching on the 4th SDG, which has to do with quality education, what is your take on the embassy's assistance through the Young Entrepreneurship Program in providing quality education for Ghanaian youth?
The Young Entrepreneurship Program is one of the programs. We also do have other programs, and the key institution for those programs is NUFIC. I think a lot of Ghanaians know NUFIC.
Yeah, we know.
It is the Association of Dutch Universities. And that organization manages a program of fellowships. So we provide fellowships to Ghanaians to go and study in the Netherlands. And that is mostly postgraduate training. So once you have graduated with your bachelor's or diploma, you can get postgraduate training in the Netherlands, specifically for your profession, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or are in agriculture. It helps you develop more skills and to get better at your work. And so far, I think we've had 5,000 Ghanaians that have benefited from this program, and it's still running. So the fellowship program is one, and the other program is an institutional cooperation between institutions in the Netherlands and institutions here to strengthen the capacity of education institutions in Ghana itself.
Okay, that's great. And how is that accessed?
The fellowships are accessed through the website. So there is a NUFIC website. No, not the embassy's website. It's a NUFIC website.
Okay,
NUFIC.nl, NUFFIC.nl, and all the training opportunities and access to fellowships are informed on there.
Thank you. So viewers, at this point, we take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. The show commences shortly. So it's still the Youth Time Show on Grace Life TV with me, your host, Vanessa Ado. I've been here with His Excellency Ambassador Mr. Jeroen Verhuel, the Netherlands Ambassador to Ghana. We've been delving very deeper and in total into the bilateral relations that has existed between Netherlands and Ghana and other aid to trade policies. The conversation still continues. Akwaba for the second time again.
That's it.
Yes, you will attest to the fact that COVID has really changed the face of businesses around the world, has really affected most private sector businesses. And as you said, the Young Entrepreneurship Program has existed to assist many young people and the youth of Ghana to, attain higher levels. Still, COVID lurks around and it's still affecting businesses. How are you assisting other private sector businesses to also get the leverage they used to have?
Well, first of all, I'd like to compliment the Ghanaian government on their approach towards COVID. I think the measures that have been taken in Ghana have been very effective. And have resulted into a large reduction of infections and cases. So that's really something that should be applauded, because a lot of countries, including my own, have had difficulties in managing COVID infections. So absolutely, we are on our way, and especially vaccination is going to make a big difference, because vaccination will reduce the spread of the virus. So I'm glad that also Ghana is now obtaining more and more vaccines, and that more and more Ghanaians are taking the vaccination, because that will help us all to recover from COVID.
Right. So within this period of our bilateral relations, we have seen the extension of businesses from Netherlands to Ghana and vice versa. Looking at the future of this, are we to expect more? Are we to maintain this? Or what does the future hold in aspects of trade within this period?
Well, I think we should expect a bright future for trade between, I would say, the Americas and Europe as a whole, and Africa. Because if you look at the population build-up in Europe and in Africa, and also in big parts of Asia, you can see that we are facing an aging population, a population which is not growing very much. The growth we have in the population in the Netherlands is from migration, not necessarily from family size growing. So what you see is that the consumption in those countries is lagging behind. It's not growing that much. If you look at what's happening in Africa, you see a rapidly developing economy. It has its challenges, absolutely, but you cannot dispute that in, let's say, 10, 20 years' time, Africa is going to be a very, very important market. And that is the approach that the Netherlands is taking. We want to be part of that market. We want to be part of that consumer boom that is going to come.
Right.
So that is why we are investing now. We have a saying in the Netherlands that you have to invest before you can reap the benefits. De kost gaat voor de baat uit, is our Dutch saying. So we have to invest now and get benefits later. And that is why we are investing now in this trade and investment relationship.
That's great. So at the recent, moving back to the SDGs, and we are almost wrapping up. So at the recent International Day of the Girl celebration, the whole world saw the need to socialize our women and give them opportunities for leadership and other positions. Do you think Ghana is making good progress towards this?
Yes, but more can still be done. I think that a lot of positions in Ghana are still held by men, and that it is not always easy for women to get access to these positions. We saw it and discussed it just in our youth entrepreneurship program. So there is still a lot to be done, but I think that the government is very aware of this and trying to promote the position of women both in business and in public office. So that's extremely important, and I think we'll continue the conversation with our counterparts to promote the position of women in the Ghanaian society.
Great. Thank you so much for having us, Your Excellency. And before we go, there are so many people. Our audience comprises of youth between the ages of 14 to 40 and above who look up to people like you, who aspire to be like you one day. If you want to, and whatever you like to say to them, I think this is your camera. They are watching you, seeing you so smiley and all. What advice would you give to the Ghanaian youth? I want you to throw light on the prospects of, for Ghanaian youth and where you want them to also attain. This is your camera.
Well, thank you, Zeke. It's a pleasure to do that. My advice would simply be never give up. I come from quite a simple background. My parents were laborers, and I was the first in my family to go to university. And that enabled me to apply for a position in the diplomatic service. And it took quite some work because the selection for that position is extremely rigorous. So there were about 1,000 candidates when I applied, and only 10 were allowed to get the position. So you need to be very clear in what you want to achieve, and you need to have a very clear pathway to get there, and to be very adamant in trying to get there. So, don't give up.
Right. Thank you so much, His Excellency, for having us today at your residence. Have you tried any Ghanaian meal?
Not yet, not yet. I still have to try the
jollof, right?
Jollof, yeah. The jollof.
Okay, the Ghana jollof.
The Ghana jollof, yeah, I
yes.
still need
That's
to try it, yeah.
Internationally accepted jollof.
Absolutely.
You need to argue with the standards, right? Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful session. I've been here with His Excellency, Ambassador Mr. Jeroen Verhuel, sitting talking about the bilateral relations that has existed between Netherlands and Ghana. Until then, the show comes your way some other time. Do take care and keep safe.